Hi folks, we're going to take a look at page 47, number 16. So let's take a look at the question. So trip is being planned and there's two options. Okay, so let's take a look. First option, total cost is $630 for each student, which includes 2 meals a day and the hotel for a 9-day trip. Okay, and then the other option is similar, except it includes 3 meals a day and accommodation for the 9-day trip for a total cost of $720 per student. And then they're asking what is the cost of the meal per meal and what is the cost per day of accommodation. Okay, so again, as we often see in the actual question itself, give us an indication as to what our variables should be. Okay, so let's start by defining our variables here. So I'll let X be the cost per meal, and Y will let that be cost for the night's accommodation. Okay, so now we have to come up with an equation. So this is a fairly straightforward problem with a little hitch to it. Okay, so let's take a look at what it says. It says it includes 2 meals a day for a 9-day trip. Okay, so remember that we're on this trip for 9 days, and we don't just multiply that by X. We would only do that if there was 1 meal per day. But this trip includes 2 meals per day. So for each day, okay, I have to multiply that by 2 times X for the total cost. So each meal costs X dollars, times 2 because it's 2 per day, and then times 9 because there's 9 days. Okay, and that's the little hitch I was talking about in this problem. Okay, plus, again, 9 days, and for every night, we pay Y dollars for accommodation, and that gives us a total cost of, and that was $630. Okay, now the second equation would be very similar. The only thing that changes in the second equation is that we've got 3 meals per day. So it's going to be 9 days, okay, 3 meals per day times the cost for a meal, plus again 9 days times the cost per night of accommodation, and this one, not surprisingly, is more expensive. That's $720. Okay, and here's our system of equations. Okay, now right away I see that I've got the same coefficient in Y to begin with, so I'm definitely going to use elimination, and I don't even have to do any work to do that. Now you'll notice here that I don't actually do the multiplication. These numbers are fairly simple that I don't feel like I have to rewrite the two equations again just to do 9 times 2 and 9 times 3. But certainly if you have any hesitation and you don't want to take any chances, I would rewrite that. Okay, so let's take a look here. What do we have? Actually, I might not even need the calculator. Let's see. So we got 9 times 2 is 18 minus 27. So 18 minus 27 is just going to be negative 9x. 9y minus 9y. As expected, they are eliminated. And here's 630 minus 720. Well, if you want to check that with your calculator, but that looks like it's going to be negative 90. Okay, and so I've eliminated my variable, divide both sides by negative 9, so x is equal to 10. And now let's pick one of our equations to determine the y value, and I think equation 1 looks like it's a little simpler. So 9 times 2, so we have 18x. So in other words, 18 times 10 plus 9y equals 630. And again here, I'm going to show less steps than maybe I have been the last little bit, because as we get more experience with algebra, we shouldn't have to show quite as many steps. Okay, so here I know I'm going to have to subtract this 18 times 10 from the other side. So now I'm going to have to do 630 minus 18 times 10. Of course, calculator takes care of bed mess for me, equals, and then I'm going to have to divide both sides by 9 in order to isolate y. Okay, so if you're comfortable starting to skip some steps with the algebra, that's fine. The only condition is you're not allowed to make any mistakes. Okay, and so here we have y equals 50, and so now we can answer a question. So we have that the cost per meal is $10, okay, and the cost per night of accommodation is $50. Okay, and there we have it. So let's just do a quick recap, because this was pretty similar to a lot of questions we've seen with this, extra multiplication we had to do. So here, we weren't getting 1 meal per day. So that's why we had to multiply 9 by 2x to incorporate the fact that there was 3 meals a day. And then here 3x to incorporate that there was 3 meals per day. Okay, that's it for this one.